It's time once again for That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ, where business becomes show business. Jamie is a leading Tampa Bay real estate agent and featured on the Wall Street Journal's list of top 100 real estate agents in the nation. Jamie invites you to list your home with him today and learn more at tampabayradio.com. Now, live in studio and promoting the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy, your host, Jamie Meloni.
Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday, and welcome yet again to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business, each and every weekday morning at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, a business variety show, a little something different. Each and every morning as I talk to many different professionals, business and civic leaders about what they are doing in our communities to make a difference. So I invite you to tune in each morning, take a break from all the political, sports, and news talk that dominates the airwaves just a little bit too much, with a show with a positive message each and every morning about what is going on in your community. I invite you to my website, tampabayradio.com. Over there, all shows available on demand. You can even watch us live here in studios. We do stream all shows here live. So click on the Watch Live Stream button there on the homepage, and you can see us here live in studio. Joined in studio this morning by my lovely co-host, Stella Giudicelli. Stella, good morning. How are you doing this morning?
Good morning, Tampa Bay. I'm very good. Thank you for asking.
You look quite nice. I see you got a little bling-bling there on your the bracelet. Josh, our string engineer over there, didn't know what that was. Thought that was like some type of little tattoo you had on your wrist there.
No. I thought it was like some sort of tech.
Yeah, she's putting that up on the camera right now. Stella's very fashionista, very fashionista type of girl, So this looks like a ceramic piece or something that's on her wrist there. So I don't know. I'm not a bling bling guy. I don't wear any bling. Anything extra I gotta do in the morning, I just don't do it. That's why I don't wear no necklaces, no earrings, no rings, no nothing.
I thought I felt like a squirrel, and I saw something shiny and just instantly grabbed my attention.
She always comes in here, all decked out and nice and pretty, and all with glitter. And
you're French or you're not,
And I come in here usually with the same outfit I wore yesterday, and just like to keep it nice and simple, as far as the fashion goes.
I'm not even on camera, if that tells you anything.
You got the outfit I'd like to have on. What do you got over there? Like just a tank top there and a pair of shorts?
No. I'm wearing slacks and
little slacks,
like a Fruit of the Loom t-shirt.
Yeah, hey, if they'd let me, I'd show up in here in sweatpants and a tank top every single day. But you kind of get judged by what you're wearing each and every day in the business world. But I'm definitely a proponent of a more relaxed professional life. But what can you do? You got to go with the flow, right?
Okay. I'll start wearing button-ups. Sorry. All right.
Hey, we got a full show planned for us today. Let's go and bring on my first guest here. Michael Farr is president and majority owner of Farr, Miller & Washington, and a member of the Economic Club of Washington, D.C., as well as the National Association for Business Economics, the World President's Organization, and International Atlantic Economic Society. Michael, welcome to the program this morning.
Thank you, Jamie. Great to be with you.
So, Michael, you're out of Washington, right?
Washington, D.C. I'm about 5 blocks from the White House, but don't hold that against me.
And so, first off, tell the audience a little bit more about you. You're an investment advisory firm up there?
We are investment advisors and money managers. We manage over $1 billion for institutions and individuals. I've written a couple of books on investing, and I'm the longest-serving contributor for CNBC.
Yeah, you got quite a resume there. I had to cut it off there a little bit, man. I was going to be talking for 5 minutes about your resume here. You're all over the place.
I'm old, and my mother wrote it, so it goes on and on.
And you were in Tampa last week. We tried to get you in here last week, but we couldn't do that. What was going on in Tampa last week?
I appreciate the invitation. I was there to speak at a dinner. I was very flattered. It was well attended, and we were talking about the economy and investing and what people should be thinking about with stocks, with low interest rates the way they are, opportunities in different asset classes, including real estate.
Yeah. Real estate definitely is on the up and up in our area. We're still dealing with a undersupplied market, but with interest rates at record lows, I mean, now's a great time to buy, but we definitely need some more inventory on the market. How's it up there in D.C. right now with regard to real estate?
D.C. real estate continues to improve. We tend to follow a lot of the political cycles, so next year, when we have a change of administration or a year and a half out, we typically will have a big flux of whatever new administration will be coming to town. A lot of new people will drive prices a little bit higher. I'm a resident of Naples, Florida, and home prices there are doing pretty well too.
Yeah, they've been coming up just in the Tampa Bay area. We're up about 20%. Though we had a lot of institutional investors, the hedge funds, the buy to hold and rent strategy guys. They really dominated our market over the last couple years. Not so much anymore, but they are a huge landowner in our area right now. I think they were down in Naples too. I don't know if you kind of caught wind of what they were doing, but they became major players in the real estate market. Are you familiar with that?
Just a little. I've heard that they're there. I haven't seen that they're there, but I have seen the prices going higher.
Yeah, they were definitely a primary reason why we saw values climb so much since 2012. But let's move on to the talking point that we want to cover today, the stock market, what's going on with the economy. You recently wrote an article, Why a Stock Market Crash is Unlikely. First off, give me your opinion of the overall position of the stock market.
I think it's fine. I don't think it's particularly cheap. I don't think it's particularly expensive. The part that worries me most is that the market for the past 5, 6, 7 years has been trading on whatever the Federal Reserve does. And we've seen it over the past couple of weeks when we thought that the Fed was going to actually increase rates at their meeting, and they didn't, and the market started going down. And then Yellen came out and spoke a week later and said, we are going to increase rates, and the markets went right back up. And then we saw things last Friday start down on very weak unemployment news until one of the Fed governors said, well, maybe we need to do more, and stocks went back up. So I like stocks, because I've been doing this a long time, that trade based on what they're earning, based on what the company's balance sheet looks like, whether they're increasing sales, whether their margins are strong, whether the management's good. It's very tough to make investments based on what the Fed will or won't do. So I don't feel overly confident, but there are not many other places to be other than perhaps real estate. The 10-year Treasury now trading at 2.01. That's a little higher than it was on Friday. We were below 2% on the 10-year again on Friday. So it means that those mortgage rates are low, money's still cheap, people can still invest in a lot of things, and they can borrow money to do it. That's typically good for the economy. So I think we're kind of limping along okay, and markets are following.
What is your opinion on the Fed's monetary policy? I mean, do you think their policies are creating a bubble or not?
I think that the bubble might be one we haven't seen before, and I think it's a bubble of confidence. I think we're relying on the Fed to be omnipotent, to be omniscient, that they're going to know exactly when, where, and how to do whatever's necessary to keep us from any sort of sharp downturns or any real recessions or anything. And I think as time goes on here, and they continue to say, we're going to raise rates, we're going to do it, we're absolutely, and then they don't, I think they're beginning to lose some credibility, and therefore I think they're going to lose some of that sense of omnipotence sooner or later, I believe, always in free markets. And I think that buyers and sellers, in the end, will determine prices. I hope the Fed doesn't mess this up. I think they need to get out of the way.
Yeah, you wrote an interesting article here, and with the election coming up next year, you brought up a good point, because we're seeing this huge divide. I mean, I think, in my opinion, a large part of the reason why we're experiencing such a turbulent economic cycle is the dissipation of the middle class. And you bring up a good point in the article, because we got Bernie Sanders on the left and Donald Trump on the right, and they both got good support. Elaborate on this difference here.
Well, we have seen since in this recovery since 2008 and the low in March of 2009, we've seen the Fed basically inflate asset prices. So stock prices have gone from 6,700 on the Dow back as high as 18,000. We're 16,000 today. But those asset prices are way up. Real estate prices have reinflated. But the folks who own real estate and who own stocks tend to be better off. The middle class have not seen wage gains, and adjusted for inflation, wages for the middle class, lower class, even the whole bottom first two-thirds of the economy, are pretty much where they were in 1995. So basically here, the rich have gotten richer, the poor and the average Joe, even the average Joe, not poor, but just average Joe, have not benefited a lot, and they don't have a lot of extra money to go and buy stuff and spend. And if your economy, like the U.S. economy, is two-thirds made up of what the consumer does, and the consumer doesn't have any more money, we're pretty much limited into the sort of growth that we can see.
Yeah, I don't know. It just bothers me to see the difference in our society. I mean, Bernie Sanders is polling pretty well for being a socialist, and we got Donald Trump on the right. I mean, it's kind of scary. We've got two different political systems pulling at each other here, and I mean, it's a point that you elaborate on in this article quite well. I mean, so it's strange. It's just strange to me.
Well, I think it tells you that Americans are unhappy and they're going to extremes. I really don't make political comments in any of my writing. I talk about markets and I talk about the economy. That's my expertise. But when you see Americans saying, "Okay, we're really going to get behind a socialist candidate in the United States," or when you see another group heading to the other extreme on the right, protectionist, xenophobic, Donald Trump, and that we kind of like the bombastic things that both candidates are willing to say, just almost for the sake of that they're bombastic. I think it shows a certain amount of unrest and instability socially as people are going to these polls.
Yeah. Got to take a quick break. Michael, hold on the phone there. I want to take a quick break, but I want to come back to you on this. You got a great article here, so I want to ask you some more questions about it. Currently talking again with Michael Farr, President and CEO of Farr, Miller in Washington, and you can learn more about him at farmiller.com. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727-347-0305.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
Help promote the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 Wins WHNZ to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where he promotes what is right with our community and highlights the successes of our entrepreneurs. Show contributor openings also available. You can learn more about the show and how to become part of this growing network at TampaBayRadio.com. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Meloni of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YeagerFlooring.com.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center. Crash still on southbound US 19 at Mainland's blocking a couple lanes there. Definitely avoid southbound US 19. Maybe exit off and use 49th Street or another one of those north-south roads through that area. Also, we still have big delays on the Courtney Campbell Causeway. Earlier accident this morning out of your way, but it is jammed from almost US 19 to about midway across the bay. Crash in Gibsonton just east of 75 and also Fowler Avenue. Very slow westbound direction near I-75. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abraham, Son, and Utah Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Burger King.
Welcome to Burger King. Do you know what time it is?
8:03?
Nope, it's croissant time. So what time is it?
Croissant, it's time.
No, ma'am, it's 8:04.
Get 2 croissant sandwiches for just $4. Only at Burger King. Restrictions apply.
Today, cooler and breezy with a high of 82. Tonight, mostly clear, low in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, just a 10% rain chance, high 84.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Again, weekday mornings at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ. And as always, you can learn more about the show over at TampaBayRadio.com. Also, please connect with me on all the different social media sites. You'll find me all over social media, Twitter under the name Jamie_Meloni, and Facebook.com/That Business Show, just to name a couple of them. Currently, I talk with Michael Farr, President and CEO of Farr, Miller in Washington, and you can learn more about them at farmiller.com. So, Michael, your firm is, again, an investment advisory firm. You know, where are people putting their monies these days, or at least where are you advising people in terms of different sectors right now?
For those interested in investing in the stock market, we think that there's still a lot of places you can invest. A lot of the blue chip stocks so far this year have really underperformed. Big companies like United Technologies and Walmart and others have really underperformed, almost down 20%. You've got dividends 2 to 3%, 2.5 to 3%. They're selling at reasonable multiples and valuations. So we think that there's some still very conservative ways to invest. In the bond market, we continue to think that you need to keep your maturities short, because sooner or later these rates go up, and there's really no benefit in picking up another 0.4 or 0.5% and taking on the risk of longer maturities. So conservative through this kind of a market, we think really makes most sense. We do a lot with the Fidelity offices there in Tampa. We've been one of their preferred managers for a while, so they refer us a good deal of business, and we're very grateful for that. And we get to Tampa a lot, which is great. We have clients, both institutional. We manage monies for cities, for schools and hospitals, for unions, Taft-Hartley money, and then for families and individuals. And our minimum account runs around $500,000, and so we do a lot of work with folks in Tampa, and happy to be there.
Do you believe that our economy is poised to begin absorbing rising interest rate increases from the Fed right now? I mean, what's your opinion on that?
Not really. The economy continues to be sluggish, and an economy grows when demand grows, and we're not seeing that demand growth. My point is that we've got to get away from the Fed opium here, that the Fed continues. Whenever the Fed starts to surge money in, markets seem to do better. Well, that's understandable. That's cause and effect. We've got to get back to trading on the economy itself, and it might be a painful transition, but sooner or later, the Fed has to get out of the way. Markets have to be allowed to clear. If they're going to go down, let them go down, and then prices will reach a point where things, as they did in the real estate market in Tampa and other places in Florida, they get low enough that people look up and go, hey, I'm going to buy that. That has to happen more broadly. Then our economy can restart in an organic way.
Yeah. Now, you also talk about, how the title of this article that I was reviewing is, why a stock market crash is unlikely. You give some good points in there of what's propping up the stock market and what's supporting it right now. So let's go through some of those reasons. One of the things that you talk about, the recapitalization of the banks following the financial crisis. Talk to us about this and why this is helping support the stock market.
Banks got very over-leveraged, particularly the big Wall Street banks got very over-leveraged through 2004, 5, 6, and 7. Some of the banks were leveraged 35 or 40 to 1. Now, if you think about that for just a minute, if you have $1 million, you're going to borrow $35 million against your $1 million. And if you see a gain of what, 3%, well, you're up $9 or $10 million on that portfolio. You had $1 million, you borrowed another 34, 35 million. You go up 3%. That's $10 million. You just made $9 or $10 million on your $1 million. So we understand why the banks would want to do that. But what happens if it goes down 3% and you're now at a big loss and you've lost your $1 million? You've also lost the borrowed money, and who's on the hook to pay that back? We found out in 2008 it was the U.S. taxpayer.
Right.
Yeah. So banks are recapitalized. They got plenty of cash. Interest rates are low, and I think that with a safe banking system and a very liquid banking system, that risk is off the table, and therefore that's not going to be the cause of the next crash. And in fact, that money to lend means there's a lot of liquidity out there, so markets can continue to function through even difficult times.
Now, you also mentioned that household debts, consumer debts, are lower. I would have thought otherwise, but talk to me about this.
They got remarkably high. Debt got remarkably high. In 1980, household debt as a percentage of income was about 55%. In 2009, it got over 110%. So between 80 and 09, in 30 years, household debt doubled. Everybody had to have a flat screen, everybody had to have a SUV or a second home or something or other, and they just borrowed money to do it. Well, that number has come down. That debt has come down. Savings has gone up. So as individuals, just as we said about the banks a minute ago, their balance sheets are stronger. Individuals have improved their balance sheets. They're not great, but they've improved them, and we're moving in the right direction.
Now, also, energy prices are coming down, so this is also, helping to stabilize the economy. I mean, do we expect to see energy prices remain low, or are they just going to kind of pop back up there like they seem to always do?
Well, they seem to track pretty much what's going on in the economy. So if the economy really starts to expand and people start to build buildings, then things like copper and steel, and the prices go up because demand goes up as people want to buy them to build. And the same's true for energy to fuel and everything else, to start transporting stuff and buying stuff for an expanding economy. But as those prices are low right now, and remember we said that the U.S. GDP or the U.S. economy is driven 70% by the consumer, if they are not spending as much on gasoline, if they're not spending as much on electricity or heating oil, then they've got more money to spend. And then the demand, they can create a little bit more demand in the economy, and maybe people at Walmart and other places have to hire a few more people, and the folks who are making shoes have to hire a few more people to help make shoes. Yeah. That's when an economy expands.
Real quick, we got about a minute left here with you, Michael. In your opinion, how does the American market, the United States here, compare to like China and the foreign markets? Are we on par with them? Are we running behind? How do we compare, in your opinion?
We're ahead of most foreign markets. We're certainly ahead of emerging markets. Our recovery and our quantitative easing started much sooner. Right now in Europe and in China, we're seeing the government continue to intervene, and the central banks there are continuing to push cash into those markets, and those interest rates are very low. Their economies are experiencing very slow growth if they're not in recession, if the growth isn't contracting. So even though the U.S. is limping along, we're doing a lot better than most other places around the world. And actually, that's one of the things that's supporting our market and keeping our interest rates down. we're getting their money. They're investing here. They're seeing this as one of the better markets around the world.
Yeah. Hey, Michael, I got to cut it off, hitting the bottom of our break, but a great discussion, and I thank you very much for taking some time out of your day to talk to me here on That Business Show.
Jamie, it's a great show. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Thank you. And again, that was Michael Farr, President and CEO of Farr Miller in Washington. And you can learn more about him and his company at farmiller.com. Stay tuned. Coming back from the break, we're going to be talking with Todd Jones. We got a great discussion here coming up about 3D printing and how it's revolutionizing the tech markets. And did you know that these things are going to be printing food in houses here soon? That's what he's telling me. So, again, you're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni. Be sure to head over to TampaBayRadio.com for all the show updates as well. And we'll be back in a moment here on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Hi, welcome to Yeager's. We just want to take a minute and show you what we're all about. At Yeager's, our primary business is hardwood flooring, although we are remodelers for kitchen, bath, and general construction. We operate a fleet of shop-at-home vans that have all the flooring-type products, hardwood flooring, laminate flooring, tiles, stone, what have you. So we're able to come out first with products in our vehicles and take a look at the setting, how the colors will work, and then to be able to come up with some options and ideas for you. If that's not good enough, we have a large distribution center that we inventory product and have a nice display area.
Drama.
You don't want this.
I'm a grown man. I know what I want. Then what happened? The Affair. Now available on DVD.
From the Bright House Network's Traffic Center.
Big delays on the eastbound side of Gulf to Bay from US 19 towards the Courtney Campbell Causeway due to an earlier crash. Also southbound US 19, it's jammed from 118th to just past 49th Street due to a crash at Mainlands Boulevard. Southbound 275, it's still slow from around Fowler to Bush Boulevards and down towards Hillsborough. Southbound Veterans Expressway is slow as well in all the usual spots. And a crash along westbound Fletcher at I-75 has traffic slow through there. See traffic problems? Call the entry firm of Abraham, Son and Uderick. Hillsborough Traffic Tip Line 866-545-9595.
This report is brought to you by Burger King. Right now, your favorite breakfast sandwich, the croissant-wich, is just $2 for $4. Start the day your way with 2 flaky, light, buttery croissant-wich breakfast sandwiches for $4. Only at Burger King. Limited time only. Price and participation vary.
1250 winds, weather center forecasts. Lower 80s for the high today. Sunshine, a few scattered clouds, not looking at much of a chance of showers at all. Tonight's lows on the cooler side, once again, upper 60s, and a few low 70s tomorrow, mid 80s, mix of sun and clouds. Impact Radio, 1250 winds, WHNZ.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Winds WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
And we're back to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Again, weekday mornings at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, a business variety show, a little something different each and every morning. So be sure to check me out each and every morning. And also, I've been announcing over the last couple of weeks, we're also expanding. We're going to begin being heard on 970 WFLA beginning on October 11th. We're going to run a Sunday show at 5 a.m. I know it's not the greatest time, but 5 a.m. And it's going to be a real estate-centric show. And so kind of getting back to the roots and real estate, since that's what I do. But if you're not able to hear the show, we definitely will have that up on demand over at TampaBayRadio.com as well as iTunes. We do put this show up there as a podcast for all you podcast enthusiasts out there. Time to bring on my next guest for this show. We're going to talk all about 3D printing with Todd Jones, who is the principal of Real Advice, and he provides complex income-producing commercial property valuation, expert testimony, litigation support, investment advice, and much more. But today we're talking about 3D printing with Todd. Todd, how you doing today?
I'm good. Glad to be here.
So first off, I got to you're in the appraisal business and tax things of that nature.
Right.
I got to ask you first off, 3D printing. How does this tie into your business?
It has to do with looking forward to see what's going to impact real estate markets.
Okay. So first off, some people aren't even familiar with 3D printing is. A couple of our guests in here were not familiar with it. So for the audience, tell us what 3D printing is.
3D printing is a relatively new technology that is probably going to be the most disruptive technology of the next 30 years. The way the internet changed the way we do commerce, 3D printing will change the way we obtain the tangibles that we use in our lives. Everything from food to the house you live in.
Yeah, I see. I first got introduced to this years ago on Orange County Choppers when they brought this thing in. They were making motorcycle parts, and here's this little device that goes in here, and they're chopping up this piece of metal. Next thing you know, they have a working part for their motorcycle. And but you're saying that the 3D printing is going to evolve into being able to print food, apartment buildings. I mean, how is this? I just don't get that.
Well, it's the scale of the machine. I mean, they're making parts today or pieces today that are actually on the nano scale down to as small as 2 microns. They're making things as big as in China they just built a 6-story apartment complex. The University of Southern California has a group that has created a machine. They can build a house in less than 24 hours. You can build a subdivision in 10 days.
So you're saying the future of our lives is we're going to have these machines inside our houses, and we're just basically going to be sourcing then the raw materials, sort of like we do with ink inside the traditional 2-dimensional printers, and we're going to be able to have food printers, house making printers.
The tough one of the tough ones to get your head around right now is, will your wife actually need that big old closet anymore?
Okay.
So you walk up, pick the outfit, pick the jewelry, hit print, and today the printing process
that's
is very
hard to
slow.
imagine that's actually going to work. It's going to print out a new dress, and then after it's printed, I mean, do you hang it up and then you can
recycle it?
I was going to say, are you going to recycle it? Do you throw it in the bin there? That's going to be a hard thing for women to do. They're not going to just take these nice dresses that they print. I mean, Stella can tell me elaborate on
Yes,
this.
I'm trying to get my head around this. So
could you throw what you're wearing right now into a recycler?
I will not.
You can have it fresh and clean tomorrow.
I like that. But so what would be the material? It's actually printing, and the machine
today it's mostly plastics for apparel, but that's changing.
So I like that because okay, go ahead. Sorry,
go ahead.
I was in France and I just bought some shoes and boots that everyone stops me about, and they're made out of recycled plastic.
Yes. Yeah.
And they're amazing. So is that what we're talking about?
That's where the technology is
today.
Hard
to imagine, isn't it?
Very cool.
In fact, guys, Nike is making custom shoes 3D printed as we speak.
So what is the history of 3D printing? I mean, when did this start? I mean, this goes back probably 20 years or so at least, doesn't it?
It does. Really, 1984 was kind of the beginning of the technology. In 1990, the software that drives these printers was kind of created. The first functional animal kidney was printed in 2002. Last year, they had a woman had her skull replaced with a 3D printed replacement.
So
they're making prosthetics, they're making organs, and that's just on the medical front.
That's amazing.
Where I have a problem understanding this is, how do you program the printer to these very detailed things, or for lack of a better word? I mean, how do you program them to print a heart? I mean, how does the computer, how does somebody know how to put the inputs into this thing that make it come out right?
Well, obviously, you're talking about biomedical engineering if you're talking body parts.
Just anything for that matter. I mean, some of this stuff, just anything, just even like a computer screen. Now, how would you know what to plug into a printer to make it produce this computer screen?
Today, architects and engineers use CAD/CAM software to make renderings. Basically, the same technology is applied at the 3D level. That information is it's a program. It's fed into the computer. It's an app, and the printer then can print that design in 3D. There's another technology which is coming online, and that is scanning. You can take and for instance, we'll go back to women's clothing. You can scan yourself in your closet, in your bedroom, and have that garment printed, and it will be a custom fit. So no more tailoring.
I love that. And let me ask you this: the plastic that is used, the material, would it be recycled?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'd be
at the end of the day, you put your jammies on, you print those, right, and you throw your dress and jacket and slacks, whatever, back into the printer, and
I have to say, what I know is that today with Facebook, it's actually kind of tough to wear what I've already worn because it's been on Facebook, you know? So I'm thinking that would be great to be able to actually not have a limited closet, but this now becomes an unlimited.
That's exactly right, an unlimited closet.
Yeah. Now and then I won't have that Facebook problem again.
That's right. So we could. The question then becomes, do you need such a big house?
Right.
Right. And let's take it now to the kitchen. Right. Do you need giant counter space, except for maybe parties? But do you need as big a kitchen if one appliance will basically do it all?
So how soon before these are in everybody's homes? I just can't see this. It's like the driverless car. I'm having a hard time believing that that'll ever become commonplace.
Driverless cars will be here first, but 3D printing technology is going to become relatively commonplace. The estimates are 5 to 10 years. It'll be more than that for replacing your closet or replacing your kitchen. But probably 20 years from now, it will be commonplace.
So this is going to put a lot of people out of work. You're talking about in real estate that they can build homes out of these things now. I mean, what labor inputs are still going to be required, though? I mean, obviously, you can't do everything from start to finish, can it?
Bear in mind, the machines today are pre-Model A quality type cars, right? So in 50 years from now, construction labor is going to be pretty obsolete. The machines that build houses today reduce the labor demand by about 50%. You still need to have somebody come in and put in the doors and the windows and the appliances and the finishes, but the demolition, that's easy, right? Bulldoze it, clear it out. New construction, this machine will lay the foundation, will erect the walls. They're pre-plumbed for electric, utility, water, sewer, ready to go.
So obviously there would have to be different types of 3D printers then. There would be some in your house for like food.
Yes.
That would have certain materials that would go into it. You'd have something for clothing. But you're saying within 10 years or so we could have these things in our homes?
It's very possible. I mean, plastics, metals, they're using graphite and graphenes now. Concrete happens all the time. Biologicals, any kind of molecule can be used to print.
I don't understand how the food printer works.
I guess you put in the sugar and the salt and the wheat and all
so
that
it wouldn't
stuff.
be like fruits and actual
whatever you want.
I haven't tasted one yet, but I'm told that the pizza tastes pretty much like Domino's or Papa John's.
Right.
Wow, that's incredible. And you got a great little PowerPoint here. I'm going to put this, with your permission, up on the site for people to review, but you got a great PowerPoint here on this and stuff. So, and you're saying it's going to put us realtors out of a job, or were they still going to?
I don't think so.
We still have to sell these things.
That's
so,
right.
yeah, it's
That's
not
right.
Not going to
Jobs
impact.
in the future are going to require human judgment if they're not going to be automated or offshored. And realtors, like what I do, we are advisors to our clients. What do you need? What do you want? Let's find that fit.
Yeah.
So maybe Jamie and I would be setting the machines.
Yeah, there we go. Hey, it's a business opportunity. People that are forward thinkers find some ways to begin to make money on this. So
building contractors will own the machines, and we will continue to sell and advise and value the product. So the people who are at risk are the ones whose job can be automated.
Yeah. Well, very cool. Got to take a quick middle of hour break. But again, Todd Jones, principal with Real Advice, and you can learn more about him, realadvice.com. Todd, thank you very much. Great talking point, great subject today to talk about. Coming back from the break, I'm going to talk with Steve Howerton and John Duffy, co-owners of Citywide. So stay tuned. You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Have you considered a reverse mortgage as part of your retirement financial plan? For homeowners age 62 or older, a reverse mortgage from Access Reverse Mortgage is a safe, economical way to turn your home's equity into cash or monthly income. Access Reverse Mortgage is a family-owned company based right here in the Tampa Bay area for the past 10 years. They are A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau and Florida's leading reverse mortgage provider. Call 727-347-0305 or go to accessreverse.com to start your research today. NMLS number 4566. That's 727-347-0305.
Are you looking for a local real estate firm that knows the market and has your interests in mind? Then contact Jim McPeak at McPeak Real Estate Firm, a family-owned business whose agents have over 60-plus years of experience in the Tampa Bay market. Many of the agents are military veterans that know the VA process for buying a home and are proud to help our military members in any way they can. From residential to commercial real estate, McPeak Real Estate Firm is here to help. Contact Jim at 813-495-3875 and learn more at McPeakTeam.com.
Help promote the entrepreneurial spirit that drives the American economy. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. on 1250 Wins WHNZ to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where he promotes what is right with our community and highlights the successes of our entrepreneurs. Show contributor openings also available. You can learn more about the show and how to become part of this growing network at TampaBayRadio.com. Tune in weekdays at 8 a.m. to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.
Tampa Bay weather is a roof killer. That's why when getting your roof done, you want it done right. Hi, I'm Jamie Meloni of That Business Show. When considering a new roof or repair, talk to Westfall Roofing. They've been installing high-quality roofs in Tampa Bay for over 25 years. Get a free, no-obligation estimate by calling 855-99-ROOFING. That's 855-99-ROOFING. Find out what already 15,000 satisfied customers already know. Call now, 855-99-ROOFING.
Are you in need of new flooring or ready to tackle that home remodeling project? Then contact Yeager & Company Incorporated, a family-owned, state-certified general contracting business with over 70 years of experience and the recipient of the Angie's List Super Service Award for the last 8 years in multiple categories. Yeager & Company comes to you with their shop-at-home flooring sales service, and their hardwood flooring refinishing is the very best in the Bay. Kitchen and bath design featuring American-made, well-born cabinets, and all work is done by employees, not subcontractors. Learn more at YagerFlooring.com.
From the Bright House Networks Traffic Center.
Police still on scene of a crash along southbound US 19 at Mainlands. That is stacking things up to before 110th Avenue. Avoid that area if you can. Also southbound Roosevelt between 49th Street, the Bayside Bridge, and Almerton. There's a crash. Big delay still on the Howard Franklin Bridge into Tampa about mid-span to around Memorial Highway. And southbound 275, it's been really slow this morning from around Fletcher to Hillsborough. See traffic problems? Call the injury firm of Abrahamson and Uterick. Hillsborough traffic tip line 866-545-9595.
Today, cooler and breezy with a high of 82. Tonight, mostly clear, low in the upper 60s. Tomorrow, just a 10% rain chance, high 84.
You're listening to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni on 1250 Wins WHNZ. Missed a show? Then head over to TampaBayRadio.com, where all shows are available on demand. Once again, here's your host, Jamie Meloni.
And welcome back to That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business. Again, weekday mornings at 8 a.m. here on 1250 WHNZ, a business variety show, a little something different. So if you're out there in the community and you've been listening to me and you got something interesting that you want to talk about, your business and organization, or if you just got a great story to tell, I'd love to hear from it as long as it's a great positive message for the community. Please contact me. Best way to get me is through my contact form over at TampaBayRadio.com. Joined in studio here, as always, again by my lovely co-host, Stella Giudicelli. That was quite an interesting interview in that last segment there. It's kind of hard to imagine 3D printing, wasn't it?
Right. There's a lot involved with that. I think it's great for our resources on the planet because everything you'd be buying, you can throw away and would be used again. But then a lot of people would also lose their jobs and I guess, have to find something else to do. So
there's
a lot to come in the future of our planet. And
it's an exciting thing, but it's
kids.
also kind of scary. I'm still bummed that we got these cell phones every single day with us now. I wish we'd go back to when I was a kid when these things didn't exist. Life was much more simpler, and you could ignore people and not get in trouble. Now they know that you're not answering the phone because everybody's carrying these things on them. But I don't know. Life's getting exciting, but complicated at the same time.
Yeah.
So, time to bring on my next guest. After stumbling across the citywide business model online, Steve Howerton began talking about opening his own business. More than a year later, Howerton and partner John Duffy pulled together most of their life savings and did it, and they have opened the 25th citywide location. Steve and John, welcome to the program today.
Morning, Jamie.
So first off, tell the audience a little bit about what Citywide of Tampa Bay is.
Well, Citywide Maintenance of Tampa Bay is a full-service building maintenance company that serves commercial businesses all across the Tampa Bay area.
Okay. And so you're the guys going in there kind of doing like the janitorial work, changing out lights, things of that nature, correct?
That's correct, yes.
Okay. What was your background before you went in? And is this a franchise company?
It is a franchise, and Steve is a retired Army. So we appreciate his service of 20 years there. And then both of us, after that, met at a company called Centos, which is a large publicly held company. And so our career started there. I was there a little over 20 years, and then Steve was there a little over 10 years.
Okay. And then you made the jump into entrepreneurism to running your own companies. I like to inspire the audience too a little bit. Give them some tips there. Give them some motivation. Talk to us about how you made that change.
Well, for us, it was we basically had hit a glass ceiling in the corporate world and looked at different opportunities that were out there, formed a little mastermind group that met on Saturdays and looked into the different industries. And we knew we liked the service industry, and we knew that was something that we were good at. And at that time, the economy was slowing down pretty bad. So we looked for a proactive sales approach, and we came across the building maintenance industry, which is a large industry. And then, like it said, we pulled together our life savings and jump ship, which was obviously
was it a scary first year? And you made you made it work though. You made it work, yeah, right? That's the thing. Always try to inspire people. And you get through that first year, and things start looking up and up. You just got to maintain a positive outlook.
There's no doubt about it. I will tell you this: after you do that and have been in business for 6 years, I don't know that you would ever go back to the other way.
Right.
So it's been nice.
Who are your ideal clients out there? Just large commercial spaces? But talk to us about who your ideal clients are out there.
Well, we service about 300 commercial facilities, the majority of which fall into 4 categories. We do about 100 schools, so schools are a big customer of ours. We really like them because they take advantage of almost all of our services. We also do, obviously, the commercial office buildings. We do a lot of auto dealerships. And we do medical facilities. That's kind of where our niche is.
So when you say they take advantage of all of your services, which one are those?
That's a great question. Thank you, Stella. We typically start with cleaning the facility, the janitorial work and things of that nature. But we have over 25 other services from we do all the deep floor maintenance as far as stripping and waxing or carpet cleaning. We also have handyman services. We do commercial window washing. Supply management for them. We sell them supplies and consumables like paper towels and toilet paper, and we can take care of about any building service job they need outside of roofs and elevators.
So it's a one-stop shop. They come talk to you, and then you do the rest of everything that needs to be done.
Absolutely. In fact, our main value proposition is we save those folks a lot of time, and we're able to manage all those services too, because if we start with the cleaning, we have the keys to your building, we have the alarm codes. You don't have to have employees that have other full-time jobs in the building having to stay after hours to watch over a maintenance job or a floor waxing. We take care of all that. We assign a manager and basically just become your part-time facility manager.
Now, coming up on the winter season, cold and flu season is upon us. Talk to us about what you're doing to prepare your business owners or your building owners, for this cold and flu season.
Well, it is a very busy time with obviously a large number of our customers' schools opening up and dealing with that. But we like to encourage all of our customers to have a proactive approach to obviously the flu and season coming in and illnesses that potentially wreak havoc in the fall and wintertime. We try to help them develop a safety and wellness plan for their facility. And what that basically involves is We take a look at the scope of work and their cleaning and plan for those times when maybe there's a breakout of something, so we can already have a plan in place for accelerated cleaning processes. We look at our the cleaning chemicals. We look at the equipment, supply management to make sure they have plenty of hand sanitizer and those types of things that you need during those periods of times. Just basically already take the time to proactively plan for it, because absenteeism in companies last year in 2013 represented 22% of their annual payroll expenses. So if you can limit absenteeism through these processes, obviously you're going to be way ahead.
Is there like a deep cleaning service that building owners can use to head off these cold and flu viruses that are sitting out there?
Yeah, absolutely. Traditionally, the normal scope of work does not necessarily include all the deep cleaning, and that's one of the reasons why our facility manager visits the customer on a weekly basis to make sure that they talk to them about the additional services, because traditionally it just doesn't cover it under the normal scope. But those other, the high touch areas obviously are everything from light switches to keyboards to, the phones to those type of things are areas that we would focus on and making sure that we get in there and disinfect that with the customers. The carpet cleaning, a lot of the bacteria lives in the carpet and things like that. And so we're able to get in there and do the carpet cleaning. And then, of course, like Steve said, looking at their hand soaps and then making sure they have plenty of antibacterial, soaps and things like that to be able to help.
Yeah, you don't think about that. I mean, you just mentioned like keyboard sanitation and stuff. I mean, I know in our office, I don't see the janitorial crew doing anything with the keyboards and everything. I mean, how do you sanitize the keyboards? Is there just some type of light mist spray that goes over these things? Or
no, traditionally they make chemicals that will allow to do it. You do obviously have to be extremely careful. And then we usually bring different people in for those type of services, just because the traditional housekeeper may or may not be able to have the experience and or the insurance to be able to cover those type of things, because it is something sensitive. But yeah, you can. They make all kinds of chemicals for those type of things.
So obviously you can save business owners money by reducing absenteeism by just using proper sterilization techniques out there. Do you find like a lot of people skirt on that, or do they actually request these additional services when presented to them?
I think a lot of people do request them. A lot of people obviously know that in order to be able to keep and attract and retain good talented people, they have to worry about these type of things. And so I think a lot of companies nowadays are looking at those. They're looking for us to provide them answers, because a lot of them don't know the answers. And that's one of the things that I think benefits from our facility manager going by there on a regular basis. Same thing in the schools. The schools, obviously with the flu season, it comes up and the absenteeism is huge for them. And so we're able to go in there and work with the schools to be able to keep that down.
Very cool. And so when you bring on a new client, then you, I guess, have a facilities manager then, so they kind of have a central point of contact. Am I correct in making that assumption?
That's correct. All of our clients are assigned a facility manager that typically stops by on a weekly basis, obviously at the client's discretion. It's a planned meeting. The facility manager then inspects the facility and any service that we're providing to that client. And then meets with the contact there and discusses any upcoming events or any additional type services they may need or what have you.
Okay. And your contracts for people out there that may need your services, how do you operate? Do you require a year contract? Can you do something shorter term, longer term? What does the typical contracts look like for these facilities?
A typical contract in our industry is basically a 30-day contract. So if for some reason your needs change or you decide to go in a different direction, almost any company out there, it's pretty much a 30-day notice.
Okay, I would have thought it would have been a longer commitment, so people can use your services with nothing more than even a 30-day commitment then. So, definitely, I think that's beneficial, to the consumers out there, because I would have thought you'd had to locked into at least a year's contract or something for that. I've got to wrap up this show. Steve Howerton, John Duffy, thank you all very much for being in studio today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jamie.
And you can learn more about them at gocitywide.com. Also, thank you to the lovely Stella Giudicelli with me as always. Stella, thank you very much.
Thank you, Jamie.
And also thank you to my other guests, Todd Jones, and also Mr. Farr, who is on the first part of the show. I'll be back in here tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. on That Business Show. In the meantime, be sure to check me out over at TampaBayRadio.com and follow me on Twitter at Jamie_Meloni. I hope everybody has a great Monday. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning on That Business Show with Jamie Meloni, where business becomes show business.